The Touch of a Navy SEAL. A military romance novella. Written by Celeste Wells. Narrated by Elizabeth Klett. Chapter 1. Up close, his eyes were sea green. That was the first special thing Sarah noticed about Matthew. That and the way her stomach tightened when she saw him, like a shock of recognition, or the sudden awareness she had awakened from a dream, and what had been making her so happy had been terminated by her alarm clock going off. She didn't wake because she wasn't dreaming. She'd just run smack into him when he turned unexpectedly. He was real. The chiseled jaw and sea-green eyes didn't fade into a more prosaic reality, something more reasonable and reality-based. Instead, the arms around her tightened, steadying her, and a voice, deep and filled with laughter, said, "That's twice. Not much of a passing lane in a room with this many people. Hope I didn't clip you." Sarah blushed scarlet. Damn her complexion. At the same time, she realized this was the second time she'd collided with this man. The first time she'd run off before he could say anything. This time she'd been heading for the exit full steam ahead and didn't have time to remap her course when the man in front of her had turned suddenly and bumped into her nearly straight on. She didn't think he'd seen her the first time. He hadn't even turned all the way around before she'd disappeared into the crowded military ball. "I probably should get a ticket for following too close," she said, an attempt at a quip that sounded more awkward than witty. The instant she said it, she started blushing all over again. I'm so sorry." He laughed appreciatively, giving the impression that her remark was the best thing he had heard all night. She felt it like a ribbon of excitement curling through her, and realized he hadn't let go of her yet. "It's kind of like a Fiat running into a Hummer," he said, drawing out her metaphor. "You're in more danger than I am." It could have sounded arrogant, but he looked like he was at least 6'3", and she was 5'4" without heels, so maybe he had a point. She fumbled for words. "I apologize anyway," she said. She faltered and wished she hadn't started the sentence. She didn't want to admit she'd been near tears and just trying to get out of the ballroom, outside into the near dark of a summer.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?